If I had to sum up the penultimate episode of the third season of AMC's Preacher Schwanzkopf, and I got to use a little bit of my German there, it would be wow. And I know I say this in the headline, but I want to emphasize this again. For all of you who've been with the show since the first season and have been constantly saying, oh, we want to get more back to the comic book, more back to the comic book, this season has not only done a great job, this episode has given you a ton of stuff, and my favorite moment I'm going to get to at the end. But again, we have a season finale coming up. The season has built itself up at a great pace. We have all of the storylines converging, a ton of stuff going on. I'm going to be covering some of the aspects, but to do a full recap would actually require its own 5-minute review video in and of itself. But there were just a lot of really great things that happened that started moving a lot of the storylines together and converging them. Some instances I wasn't sure where they were going to go, but now I think I have a pretty clear picture, especially going into the season finale. And what I love about it is you can see where some things are getting cleared up, but you're left wondering with certain aspects. And I know those are teasers, so let me jump right in. First, major plus, the killing of Allfather. Compared to how he gets killed in the comic book, and I won't spoil the comic book series for those of you catching up, I thought this was a nice touch. It made sense, especially with how things have been built up to this point. Jonny Coyne, I think, gets a lot of credit. He made Allfather a very active character for somebody his size who's not very active. And the explosion, I think, just props for pure Monty Python factor there. Hitler, Eugene, and Tulip. Again, it's very strange the way Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen and Sam Catlin really get this thing where Hitler, we're rooting for him. We hate him. We're rooting for him. We're hating for him. They even get us rooting for SS soldiers that we know we're now going to root to die in the next episode. So it's this weird mix. Eugene, God, dog bless him. His naivete can just really get someone killed like it possibly almost did Tulip. But I also love the fact that he just has this little puppy dog love for Tulip and everything she can do in the way that's just gone over time. And of course, Tulip, Ruth Negga, is just, again, she's the badass on that bus. And we're talking about Hitler, Eugene, the saint of killers, the angel of death, and yet she's still going to be the one that you're going to check and make sure that you don't have like a bullet wound in you or you have all your organs when you leave a room. I love that dynamic. I thought that was great. Very interesting exchange between the saint of killers and angel of death regarding what Eugene and Tulip's role is, and making reference to the fact that there are no rules anymore. And she references the Saint's family and what happened and about how the rules didn't help him. But you get the impression the Saint isn't too thrilled with the idea of people just being arbitrarily pulled into hell. And you saw the look on his face and confusion when the Angel of Death said, "Oh no, Tulip's not dead. She and Eugene's not dead," and basically saying Satan just wants them. They don't technically have any right to be there. So I think that's going to make for a very interesting confrontation between the Saint of Killers and Satan, since everybody seems to be going, I think, possibly to hell at some point, though how it ended may call that into question. But I would love to see a standoff between the Saint of Killers and Satan, especially with the whole whipping scene that took place before. Jesse and Humperdoo. I love that scene in the craziness and the grossness and everything else that is going on. I love that scene for the simple fact that he just couldn't do it. Angelville hadn't changed him so much, so let's just fill the world with Humperdoos and let's see where that takes us, and see the best move in keeping the nuclear annihilation from happening, which is always a major plus. I love the scene between Cassidy and Mrs. Rosen. There was heartbreak in the realization on Cassidy's part that he might really be losing his family. That, with Icarus, the children of blood are most likely going to go too. There was a little heartbreaking there, but it also was a nice little touch with the whole give Lisa call. So I think we see where that's going to be going in the finale. Grandma versus Jesse. I love that scene where TC, again, fascinating character. Even for the couple seconds that he's in there, he seems to be sensing and vibing that things are coming to a head and things are not going well, and you see the emotion on him that is concerned for where things are playing out. And Grandma's just like, well, no, Jesse's coming back. He's going to keep his promise because he's going to kill me. But there's a cockiness in her, and we see it in the trailer, that I'm looking forward to see shoved back in her face by Jesse, because I think Grandma's got that cockiness to TC because she's working under the assumption that Satan's got everything under control. Yeah, unfortunately, that whole Hitler's friend Rick from the strip mall and his SS buddies, well, they kind of rolled up in their Nazi uniforms in a tank and essentially took out the bus just as they were ready to jump out the window. So that's where things are going to get a little askew. especially as we see Jesse standing at the front of the road and walking his way down to Angelville. We know a confrontation is happening. But I would be remiss if I said, of all the great connections we've seen to the comic book series this season, especially this episode, let's give props to Pip Torrens and the way he played out the whole wig scene with Hoover and Featherstone. And also, again, I got to give Hoover and Featherstone a lot of credit. Just, they're like the screw-up kids, and Herr Starr just kind of loses it. And because of, in honor of Pip Torrens and Herr Starr, he gets the one major quote. And I preface this by saying, this is his quote, this is not me saying it, when he screams at the top of his lung, "Son of a whoring bitch." It just exemplifies everything that is building up in this guy. I'm not saying he's not deserving of it, but it exemplifies everything that has been building up in this guy for this entire series run, and I just thought it was great. Across the board, an amazing episode, manic episode, crazy episode. It's such a difference from other things that we're seeing on television now, and I really, really like and really appreciate that. Major thumbs up to this episode. Cannot wait for the season finale. Can't even imagine what they have in store for us. I'm curious to see if we're going to be getting hit with any cliffhangers too going into season, hopefully into season 4.